Hello everybody, welcome to this week's teaching video for the 26th of January. This week we are starting a 3-week theme called True Love. So last week we finished our series Remain in Me. All of our congregations were together in Horsham. It was a lot of fun, it was very busy, lots of food. But yeah, today we are moving on to True Love, and basically over the next 3 weeks we're going to look at how can we have healthy relationships. So Valentine's Day is coming up, so there might be a lot of love themed things around in the shops, on what they're watching on TV, at school even. So we want to look at what is true godly biblical love. So this week we're going to look at friendships. Next week we will look at parents, and the week after that we will look at marriage. So yeah, each week we're going to have a slightly different focus, but overall it really is what is true love, what is the love of God like, and how can we express that. So this week we will look at friendships. So for the all of the groups really, we can just start off with a conversation about what are good and bad friends like. What are some of the things you like about your friends that are good? You know, that they encourage you, they lift you up, they support you, they help you, they're thoughtful. But what are some maybe not so good friends like? Obviously we don't want them to name names and pick out people, but what might a not so good friend be like? Someone that is mean to you, someone who is harsh or bullies you or leaves you out, all those different things. And kind of, yeah, get the children to start thinking there's a difference between the friends that I have. Some will be better, some maybe not so good. And essentially the takeaway from today will be to be the friend that you want to have. So the amazing perfect friend that we would all love, we want to be like that, and we need God's help with that. So we are going to look at 1 Corinthians chapter 13 and look at the attributes of love, and then talk about that in the context of friendships and how we can show that love. So there is a video version of this story on your USB stick.
Love waits for others. Love does not brag. Love is not proud or rude. Love doesn't boss people around.
But for the younger groups, you guys can read from the Biggest Story Bible Storybook, chapter 98, which is Love Is. And so it's kind of a little short version of 1 Corinthians 13, basically. So yeah, there is a video version of that on your USB stick if you want to use that, or the older kids group if you want to use that instead of using the storybook, because with the older kids group and with Consecrate we can just read from the Bible from 1 Corinthians 13. So after we've read from 1 Corinthians 13, we then will have these posters. Move my things. All of the groups and Consecrate included, you guys will get one of these posters, and we've printed out the attributes that I talked about in 1 Corinthians 13. So like faithful, never gives up, or rude or boastful. And essentially the children and young people need to discuss amongst themselves, and does love is kind go in the green part or outside? We don't want to be like this, you know. I think you know what I mean. So anyway, yeah, you all will have one of these, and then the attributes. So let's reflect on the Bible passage with a discussion of what are these different attributes, how can I show that as a friend, or how would I how a bad friend would show those things. And we want to be like in the green, we want to be showing love, we want to be faithful, we want to be kind, we want to not hold wrongs against people, we don't want to be rude, etc. So yeah, we can use that poster to kind of give them a visual aid of trying to understand what love is and what love isn't. And that the important thing is that then we show that love, that we are that good friend to those around us. As much as we'd all have a friend who is thoughtful and who forgives us, we need to be like that as well. And then with the older group, I haven't done this with the younger groups, obviously they can't write, so it would just be a little bit more tricky. But I've sent these little paper people to the older kids group, and after you've done that activity all together and you've kind of reflected on what is a biblical friend and biblical love like, give them each one of these and just help them to reflect, okay, what do I maybe need to show a little bit more? What kind of friend do I want to be? Out of all the attributes on that poster, let's encourage them to write down on their body how they should then be. Maybe they need to be a little bit more kind, or not as proud, or not as rude, and just get them thinking a little bit, okay, how can I be a better friend, and asking God, help me to, show more kindness or forgiveness or whatever. So they can write their names on these, write down maybe something that they want to try and be better at, or ask God to help them with, and they can take away this little 1 Corinthians 13 person. So yeah, I believe that is everything for the teaching. Then for the craft, for the older kids, we've got this fill in the missing words from the memory verse. Our memory verse for today is 3 things will last forever: faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of these is love. 1 Corinthians 13. So they might need their Bibles to help do that. There's also a word search, so maybe good for the middle young saints group and the older kids group, word search. And then there is a colouring for the younger groups, and there is another colouring that I will put in as well. So yeah, colouring, activities, word searches, video, book, poster. There's plenty to use to help you in your session and to teach this idea of love, and to be the friend that you want to have. And we don't have to always try and do this in our own strength. We've literally been talking about Holy Spirit and remaining God for the past 3 weeks. So let's always remind the children, whatever God asks us to do, he helps us to do it. He gives us his Holy Spirit and his grace to do that and to be a good friend. But yeah, obviously just let the Holy Spirit guide you in where to take the discussion, where to take the session with your specific group of children or young people. And yeah, hopefully we'll all have a really good morning. So if you have any questions, please let Dave or I know, or any feedback. Please remember that on the 9th of February, we're going to be having a youth and children's team from all congregations gathering here in Kingdom of Faith Horsham. We will gather, catch up, share some testimonies. I think Dave's going to share some important information with us, and we will look at the plan ahead for the next year, but up until September really, just to get a good idea of where we're going, what we're doing, what some of the different things we've got going on in the different congregations, and just to encourage one another really. And yeah, thank you for everything that you do, and for spending another year with our youth and children. We couldn't do it without you. So yeah, God bless you, and have a great week.